Hi.
Sean, first of all, can you tell us you tweeted, "Try not to laugh at me when you see me today." Is this what you were referring to with the glasses and everything else?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of this fight week, I've known in the past you've been pretty vocal about how much you value your sleep schedule and stuff before your fights. How early did you have to come out here to Abu Dhabi to get acclimatized to the big time difference?
Yeah, we came out about 2 weeks 2 weeks ago, and I'm definitely glad we did. Those first 3-4 days trying to adjust wasn't too bad, but it definitely throws you off a bit. I think it's like an 11-hour time difference, so I'm glad we came out as early as we did.
Then outside of the matchup with Petr, did you want to fight in Abu Dhabi, or did they just approach you with this big card and you wanted to be on the bigger cards this year?
Yeah, it didn't matter. Obviously, my last 10 fights or so have been in Vegas, but they offer you Petr Yan, it's a big opportunity. I'm not gonna say no because it's in Abu Dhabi. It's been really fun. I would not mind fighting here again.
And speaking of Petr, a lot of fighters like the past few weeks, like Cheeto, Anthony Smith, said this is a smart matchup for you. It's a high-ranked opponent and a guy that can play into your style of fighting. Did you view that when they approached you with Petr, like this is the best matchup for you in that top 5?
He was the only guy after that Pedro Munoz fight. I went back to the UFC and said, "Hey, I want to book a fight." Obviously, that one wasn't a satisfying victory. Petr was literally the only guy in the top 10 without a fight. He turned down Cheeto. Petr turned down Cheeto, so I don't think he really had an option. I think UFC probably went to him and said, "Hey, you can't just keep turning these guys down. You have to fight the Shikasho." So I know he was saying he picked that fight. I don't believe that. I think he got bullied into it.
Do you think he won the fight against Aljamain in the last one? He still believes he won the last fight.
It's hard to say you won when Aljo took his back. I think 3 different rounds and held him for a little bit. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, but I think the last time I rewatched it, I kind of gave the edge to Aljo. But it was definitely close still.
Well, speaking of that, you mentioned when Aljamain got his back, you obviously train with Temquinho. You have high-level grappling training partners. Is any part of you just want to test Petr taking him down again, or do you want to mainly keep this striking for these 3 rounds?
When I think about having fun, I think about knocking someone out. Like, I love grappling. Like, it's my favorite training. If I had to go pick what I'm going to do, I'd love to go grapple rather than spar or anything. But when I think of fighting and putting on performances and entertaining, I think of knocking people out. So, I mean, we'll see where the fight goes, but I'd love to knock them out.
And then finally, I'm sure you heard the comments from Dana White. He said he compared your fight with Petr to when Conor fought Aldo and confirms that the winner of your fight would indeed get the next shot at the bantamweight title. So what do you make of now that is confirmed and he compared your fight to that massive fight between Conor and Aldo?
Yeah, I kind of already knew that. I mean, I'm the biggest draw in the bantamweight division, one of the biggest draws in the UFC. I go out there and beat the number 1 guy. Like, who else would I fight other than for the title? So I kind of already knew that. Hearing it confirmed from Dana, I mean, I already knew that basically, so it didn't really do much. But yeah, I think this is a massive fight. It's obviously not a main event, but this could be a main event. This is a massive fight.
Do you feel like this is the most talked about fight on this card?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to any of the other fights. I know that I'm excited for them. I'm going to watch them after, but I really don't pay attention to any other fights. Anytime I'm on a card, I always say I'm the main event just because every fighter should think like that. But I don't know. I know there's Charles Islam's a sweet fight. TJ Aljo's sweet fight. I wouldn't say it's like a huge fight, but yeah, I mean, you could say that.
Sean, do you agree with Dana that this is your Aldo fight, or do you think there needs to be a title on the line for that to be the real one?
I don't know. I don't really put too much thought into it. This is Sugar versus Petr fight. It's a sweet fight. The chance of me going out there and knocking him out in 13 seconds are very low. So it's hard to. I don't know. Sugar versus Petr seems sweeter to me than Conor versus Aldo.
You like to put on a show, obviously. Do you think when you look at the bantamweight division that Peter's style is the perfect one for you to do that, to go out there against him, put on a show on your feet and potentially knock him out?
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself doing that to anybody in the division. Petr likes to strike, though. So, yeah, I mean, I've been fighting guys 5'6" my entire career. And I think Peter's just the most evolved version of that. He's the highest level of that kind of style you can get. And that's what's so exciting, is because I have the skills, I have the abilities, and now I have the opportunity to go out there and show the world that I'm as good as I've been saying I am.
I feel like part of you kind of enjoys proving people wrong. Should you beat Peter on Saturday, there's no more proving wrong. You've already proven yourself to be one of the best in the world. Is that going to disappoint you that you can't keep shutting people up?
Well, no, because I haven't fought an elite level grappler, so that question is going to still be there. Can he grapple? It depends. Say I go out there and knock Peter out, beat Peter, and we don't grapple much. It'll still be like, can he grapple? Can he grapple? So I'll still have people to prove wrong. I could go out there and beat, the best grappler in the world, and they'd still say, yeah, but. So that's just how this game works.
I noticed you're only wearing one watch today. Where's the other one?
Yeah, I felt humble.
Sean, I'm curious, when this fight was first booked, Dana said that he basically had to be convinced by Sean Shelby to make this happen. Are you surprised to hear him come out and say that? We haven't really heard him, share that line of thinking and kind of the behind the scenes in the matchmaking before.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it took too much convincing. I mean, I've been in the UFC for 5 years. I fought Pedro. It wasn't the most entertaining and wasn't the best fight. But if you can take anything away from that fight, he's a top 10 guy. Didn't hit me once. Kicked my legs a couple times. I feel like I did more damage to his legs by checking his kicks than he did by pecking at mine. So I don't think it took much convincing. I don't know. We'd have to ask Dana, but I bet he was probably on board for it.
And what do you think I asked you this question, a while ago, what you think is the biggest fight for you in the bantamweight division? And you said you don't even think it maybe exists right now yet. But we know that you are going to fight the winner of this co-main event. What do you think is a bigger fight for you, Aljamain or TJ?
If TJ beats Aljo, TJ will be considered the best bantamweight of all time, which he kind of already, he hasn't lost his belt. So I think me versus TJ would be a lot bigger. For some reason, people just Aljo, he's not a draw. I like the guy. Even TJ versus Aljo doesn't feel like a huge fight. I mean, it's a main event. It could be a main event. It's a big fight, but it's not like a massive fight. I think if TJ beats Aljo, me versus TJ is insane. I think me versus Aljo would be insane, considering I'd be on the card. So probably TJ.
Sean, just to your left over here. So
I see you.
Yes. It was behind me, yeah. So Piotr is known to be like a bit of a slow starter in the first round. Sometimes people say it's because, he's trying to see his opponent work out the game plan and then react, but then it could be he might be conserving his energy because he's been in a lot of 5-round fights lately. Do you and your team identify that first round as a massive opportunity? Because it feels like if he's kind of slow in that first round against you, it might not be such a good idea. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, really.
Yeah, I would say he probably starts out a little bit slower because his style's kind of it's a 5-round style when he starts. It's a completely different mindset when you have a 3-round fight compared to a 5-round fight. So I'm not really expecting him to come out there and kind of start as slow. He knows he only has 15 minutes. It's a lot different mindset than having 25 minutes. So I expect him to come out and try to get busy a little bit right away. But it doesn't really matter to me. I can adapt. I think that's what being high level is, being able to adapt to whether he comes out slow, fast, whatever. I feel like I'm just better.
And just one quick one for you, Sean, as well. You're 27 years old. You're really young. I don't think anyone who's fighting in the UFC that's 27 is probably as financially as stable as you. So I would say you're pretty comfortable with life. So having said that, when you're so young and you're so financially stable, how do you still stay motivated to be hungry to fight for that? How do you get that in you to still be that hungry?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
It's just in you, or I don't know. There's times you go through phases where you're just like, fuck, I don't. Training camps are brutal. I went through 12 weeks with Pedro, took 4 weeks off, went through 12 weeks with Peter, and I still feel pretty good. But it depends probably when you ask someone that. I just have a lot of work to do. I want to fulfill my potential, and I do believe I can be considered one of the best fighters of all time. If I just stay grinding and just stay grounded and keep working. So just kind of always reminding myself, like when I'm 37, 38, 39, I'm not going to be in these positions to be able to be as healthy as I am and as young as I am, and I don't want to regret anything. So kind of reminded myself of that.
Thank you.
No. Yeah, obviously I know you're focused on Petr Yan, but I just wanted to get your opinion or your thoughts on the main event and who you think's going to win between Oliveira and Makhachev.
I just love Charles's career. I think it's cool to see, how long he's been in the UFC, the ups and downs, and then the streak he's on right now. I would love to see that. I always will kind of go with the striker more than the grappler too. I think that's just kind of, I'm more of a striker, so I'd like to see Charles win, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't really care who wins, but it would be sweet to see Charles pull it off.
Sean, question here. Fourth row to your right. It's great to see you embrace the local culture here. So are you hoping to win over a fan base here in Abu Dhabi? And finally, you've been around for quite a while. You were at the NBA games as well in the Etihad Arena. Can you just reflect on your time here?
Yeah, it feels, I was surprised how many fans I had, walking around the mall, walking around the hotel. Like, some people might think I'm a rapper, though. They don't even know. But yeah, no, it's been really fun. I think, I'd definitely love to come out here without having a fight book, to be able to explore a little bit more, go out and eat something delicious, not what I've been eating. But yeah, it's been really cool, and like I said, I'd love to come back out here, not having a fight booked, and explore. But yeah, thanks, guys.